Welcome to Unit 6 of my Entrepreneurship semester course. And in this particular unit, students will be looking at customer acquisition and go-to-market strategy. The objective is as follows. Students will develop a positioning statement, customer acquisition strategy, and go-to-market plan aligned with their financial projections. And when I talk about their financial projections in the prior unit, the one just before this, students have identified how much it costs for them to make one unit, as well as their profitability on that unit, their break-even analysis, and many other pieces there. Check out that prior video to find out more. The essential question is, how do entrepreneurs build a customer acquisition system that actually converts prospective customers into current, real purchasing customers, people that are spending their money on your product or service? And so in my full semester unit, whether it's an intro to business or personal finance or this class or intro to marketing, students are pursuing a business from the beginning all the way to the end. If you are a teacher just picking this up and using it as a one-off, I would recommend that you have your students create a business for this particular unit, but they do love doing it for a whole semester. Check that out too. So if you've built a great business, now what do you need to do? You've done all the legwork. If you were to launch your business tomorrow, how would customers find you? And so great ideas don't just sell themselves. You could have a strong product, but it doesn't guarantee customers are going to knock on your door. You could have a smart business plan, but it doesn't guarantee revenues coming in either. Customers must be attracted intentionally, and this is where we can build this acquisition strategy to acquire these customers, the people that want your product but don't necessarily know that you exist or know that there's a solution to their problem. Entrepreneurs design systems to close sales. And so, an acquisition strategy, this is a business system. They don't just find you by accident. You need to design a system that includes positioning as well as what marketing channels you will use to reach your target customer. The positioning is the general idea of providing value for your intended audience. So, making sure that your business and what it is you're selling is aligned with the people that are looking to buy your solution. The marketing channel is delivering the right message to the right audience with a clear call to action using the appropriate platform to actually get in front of that person. This is what we want to build in this unit. So we start with positioning. If customers don't clearly understand why your business is different, they're going to choose somebody else. Customer acquisition begins with clarity. We need to make sure that we are explaining what we do in brevity. Would somebody who has never heard of your business immediately understand why they should choose you or what you even do? What is positioning? It's how your business is understood in the customer's mind. It answers one core question. Why should somebody choose you instead of the alternative? Weak positioning could be something like, we offer high quality products at affordable prices. Fun fact, in my classes, I never let my students compete on low price leadership because that's just an easy cop out and they'll get squashed by a Walmart or Amazon or gigantic business. Another weak one would be, we provide great customer service. Cool. But doesn't every business say that? Versus strong positioning being something that is more identifiable, something that is very specific. We deliver custom protein packed desserts designed specifically for high school athletes. It's specific, it's timely, it just makes sense, and it really specifies who the target market would be. And another one would be, we provide 24-hour emergency pet care for busy working families. If you can say, who is this going to be for, what problem it solves, and what makes it hard to copy, then you're in a good position. Building your unique value proposition, the UVP. So what is this whole general idea? This is what we've been talking about with this positioning, is coming up with what makes us different. What is our competitive advantage? So the UVP is this general idea of, who is it for? What specific problem does that person have? What is the solution you provide? And what makes you different? I would use this sentence frame, which also is attached to your guided notes. If you were to purchase this content, the guided notes come with it. And so students work on this as I am going through the content. And so in this particular case, here's the sentence frame. Who is it for? So for who struggle with the specific problem. Our business provides a clear solution, unlike the existing solution or product. And we, this is your key difference, this is what separates you. I would write this out in 1 to 2 sentences, avoiding generic words like high quality or great or low price or something like that. Then after that, I have my students do a peer review of their unique value proposition. So they exchange their UVP with a partner and ask, can they clearly answer the following? Who is the product or service for? What specific problem does it solve? And what makes it different from the competition? If your partner hesitates, you need to revise it. From there, we define a marketing channel. This is where and how your target customer discovers your business. So it answers one key question: where will your ideal customer first discover you? Common marketing channels, and I would imagine many of your students, if you're a teacher out there, will be more knowledgeable about some of these things than perhaps you will be, because I know that my students understand social media better than I do. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, also websites, maybe it's email marketing, influencers, events, pop-ups, flyers, local ads, word of mouth, referral, paid ads, trade shows, and more. Think before you choose. Where does your target market customer specifically already spend their time? What channel fits your budget, and what channel can you realistically manage? That said, one of the channel examples that most of your students will be familiar with is social media. A potential customer sees your brand on Instagram. Within 3 seconds, they decide, is this for me? If so, I stick around. If not, swipe on to the next thing. Do I care? Should I click to actually learn more and visit perhaps the website? Effective social media strategy requires clearly defined target audiences, specific problem, desire, or outcome, scroll stopping visual hook, something that catches their attention, and a measurable call to action, as well as consistent brand identity. You want your brand to look the same from post to post to post, in whether it's color scheme or it's the style or it's the visuals or something else that is resemblant of that. So I then have my students build a social media post on whatever platform they think their target market would be found on for a fictitious branded social media post of their business using, and I have them use Canva's social media maker. The post needs to include all of those following things, and again, it needs to answer in 3 seconds. Can the person that's watching the social media post or receiving the social media post explain right away, who is this for, why does it matter, and what action do I need to take next? That call to action, that's the ask, that's the, hey, do this next step if you want to become a customer. Make sure that you're not using generic types of words in this social media post. I give students a couple of examples here, and then from there, now that your social media post worked, what happens next? Oftentimes, when you click on it, it says, click here to learn more. It's going to take you, for example, perhaps to a website. So it stopped the scroll, and that's the goal. It was clear. It spoke to the right audience. Your potential customer clicks your link, and now that they've landed on your website in 5 seconds, they decide, do I want to stay or do I leave? Marketing doesn't stop at attention. It continues all the way through conversion. So we've got discovery. That was your social media post. They clicked it to learn more. Conversion is getting them to the website to actually make the purchase or acquisition to become your customer. And in this case, I have my students build the homepage of their website. I don't have them make a full website, and you totally could. And you could extend this out into a much longer project than what it is that I have built. But me specifically, I just have them build the homepage. I recommend that they either use Wix or Canva's website. If they are working with partners, I always make them use Canva website, because Wix is kind of clunky when you work with a bunch of different people. Shout out to Wix for their AI platform, which is pretty cool, but when you work with a partner, it does make it harder to navigate that and keep people accountable. From there, what does it need to include? You can see all of the details there. And in the first 5 seconds when I land on that website, I need to know, am I in the right place? What do I need to do next? Why should I trust this website? And what is the next move? From here, I give students an example website homepage of students that have created something in the past. It does actually, their website scrolls, so you can see they broke it into individual parts, but this shows them the general idea. Another website homepage example right here in less of a scrolling fashion. And then we move on to this idea that now that your customer has perhaps seen you in the digital space on your website, now we need to start talking about the real world. So your digital presence worked. Hooray, that's awesome. People know who you are. People know how to find you. They understand what separates you, and it's time to grow. We want to get out of just the digital world space and be converting customers beyond just their website. So we decide to attend, and I let my students choose what they want to do, either a local event, a trade show, a pop-up market, or something else along those lines. So the call to action is this next step. This is us saying, I don't want my customers to guess what they need to do next. I need to tell them the exact next step. If there is no clear next step, your system breaks down. So a weak call to action would be like, DM me for information, or learn more, or check us out, or link in bio. Instead, book your free consultation, sign up for your first class, claim your free sample, scan this to schedule today. It's converting that customer from just a looky-loo to someone that is taking the next clear step to book their next step within the process to become a paying customer. And that moves us into the idea of the real world of a trade show. And I use trade show just because many of my students are familiar with like a business expo or the farmer's market or something like that. I give them something a little bit different. So I have them watch a quick video about a person that's going through a trade show and explaining what they believe to be powerful eye catchers or showstoppers within a trade show. And I define a trade show as a live marketing event where businesses promote themselves face to face in a booth setting. I have my students note a few things while they are watching the video to keep them accountable and keep them awake. And then once we've done that and they know what a trade show is, now they need to get trade show ready with their business. If you're attending an event, you need to get prepared. We've got to have brand visibility, printed materials, table setup, a giveaway promo item. And my students will design 3 of those on the next slides. First, they need to create business apparel for the employees that'll be working the booth. I have them use either customink.com or vistaprint.com. I give them the parameters. The idea is that it needs to communicate professionalism within the first 3 seconds. I show them a few examples, and then we move on to a business card. In earlier units, in different classes as well, we talk more about the importance of a business card, but specifically here in this realm, we're talking about you have made some type of an important connection with somebody at this trade show and you want to exchange information. You give them the business card, it has all that info on there. I tell them the parameters of what needs to be on there. I encourage them to avoid clutter and make sure that everything is intentional and no space is too cluttered, but it's also not wasted. From there, a couple of examples. And then we need to create at least one promotional item. Usually this will be a giveaway of sorts to the people that stop by your booth. Again, I use Custom Ink and Vistaprint.com or a similar platform. Worth noting also on this business card, I do use Canva Business Card Maker. So from here, now at this point, with your example promotional item that you choose, it could be something, but it should be relevant to your business. A sticker, a pen, a keychain, a tote bag, a sample size product, something else that symbolizes your business. If I was like a gym, maybe I would hand out branded protein blender bottles or something to that extent right there. It should be an item that matches what your business does. Here's a few examples. In this case, this was a company that was a bagel bakery that was located downtown in the downtown district, and the intention was that they wanted to hand out these free reusable bags specifically to the target customers that were walking through the farmers market so that they could, one, promote sustainable uh, giveaways, as well as also helping out the farmers that are there at the market to have more opportunity to sell items, but also have this wave of these branded bags as people walk down the street for the farmers market. From there, this is an optional piece. I do it in my class, but I do know that some school districts have a different stance on artificial intelligence. But I have my students use all of the information they've created so far to build a prompt, and I give them a sentence frame on how to build that prompt to use AI to actually create a trade show booth for them. They screenshot their logo, their branded apparel, the business card, as well as a promotional item. They put all of that within the I use ChatGPT, maybe they're using Perplexity or something else. Once they've put all those images in there, I have them use a sentence frame where they are noting that they want the AI to create a realistic front facing trade show booth for their business named, insert the name of the business. The booth should clearly target, insert the target audience, and it needs to include a large branded backdrop with their logo, a table displaying promotional items, a staff member wearing the branded apparel, clear signage showing what problem they solve, and a visible call to action, and it should look professional, clean, and visually appealing. Here's an example of what AI made for me. Check it out, pretty cool. From there, students take a reflection from all of this marketing collateral that they have created. Did they build the customer acquisition system? And if so, do customers find you by accident? And with this piece here, they need to start thinking about a design system that includes weak positioning, weak channel strategy, and weak execution, and how they can remedy all of those pieces. If positioning is off, nothing converts, and if execution is weak, nothing is going to move. You built a customer acquisition system by the end of this unit right here. You now have a defined audience, a clear value proposition, a visible marketing presence, a physical brand presence, as well as a call to action. And this is how real businesses grow. This is how you take the next step to convert prospective customers into paying clients. And customers don't buy because you exist, they buy because your system works. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your ability to, in my opinion, teach the most valuable classes on campus.